The pyramids of Egypt are true monuments of human genius and timeless mystery. Imagine for a moment, you're in the middle of the desert, under the blazing sun, in front of a structure so gigantic that it defies any simple explanation. How, more than 4,000 years ago, were people without access to modern technology able to build something so impressive that it still stands today? And, more importantly, why? These questions not only intrigue scientists, historians, and archaeologists, but also all of us who seek to understand the limits of what we are capable of accomplishing. Looking at the pyramids, can you imagine the dedication, organization, and, possibly, sacrifices required to erect these wonders? Today, we're going to explore not only how these structures were built, but also the stories and theories surrounding them. From ingenious engineering techniques to the most exotic ideas, such as the involvement of alien civilizations or lost technologies. After all, it's not every day that you come across a structure more than 140 meters high, made of blocks that can weigh up to 3 tons each, aligned so precisely with the cardinal points that it rivals our modern engineering. But before we go any deeper, think about it. If you were put in the position of an engineer in ancient Egypt, without cranes, tractors, or power tools, what would you do to move a giant block of stone across the desert? And while you're thinking about it, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel. As well as exploring mysteries like this, we always bring you stories that challenge the ordinary and make you see the world through different eyes. Comments are also welcome. We want to know what you think is most impressive about these buildings. Now that you're in the mood, let's unravel the theories, curiosities, and discoveries surrounding the pyramids of Egypt. Get ready, because this journey into the past will stir your imagination and perhaps even change the way you see human capacity. Historical context: to understand the pyramids, we need to go back in time and look at the society that created them. In ancient Egypt, around 4,500 years ago, during the period of the Old Kingdom, the pharaohs were seen as living gods, mediators between men and the gods. Subscribe to DeepL Pro to edit this document. Visit www.deepl.com/pro for more information. This belief gave the pharaoh a central role in the life of the Egyptians, and he was responsible not only for guaranteeing divine order, but also for ensuring the prosperity of the kingdom. The pyramids had a much more complex function than just serving as tombs. They were designed to protect the pharaoh's mummified body and his treasures, ensuring his safe passage to the afterlife. This concern with eternal life was fundamental in Egyptian culture, and the construction of a pyramid was seen as a sacred act and essential for the continuity of the universal order, known as Ma'at. The planning and construction of a pyramid involved incredible organization. Specialized workers, architects, engineers, and craftsmen were mobilized on a large scale. Archaeological studies suggest that these workers were not necessarily slaves, as is often believed, but hired and paid laborers, usually with rations of meat, beer, and bread, real luxuries at the time. This organization reflects an advanced administrative system, capable of coordinating resources and manpower to an impressive degree. Another fascinating aspect is the symbolism of the pyramids. Their triangular shape points to the sky, representing a direct connection between the earth and the divine. The precise orientation of the pyramids in relation to the cardinal points, something that defies our understanding of the tools available at the time, indicates a deep knowledge of astronomy and mathematics. The construction of each pyramid was also a demonstration of power. By ordering the creation of such a monumental structure, the pharaoh was affirming his divinity and consolidating his legacy for future generations. It was a clear message: I am eternal, just like this building. We can't ignore the environmental and social impact of this process either. Immense resources were devoted to construction, from the extraction of stones from distant quarries to the transportation of these colossal masses to the construction site. These projects mobilized entire communities, creating a social dynamic that probably influenced the way of life of thousands of people. The pyramids of Egypt are much more than just monuments. They are a reflection of the organization, beliefs, and aspirations of a civilization that dedicated its existence to understanding and shaping the world around it. By exploring their origins, we come a little closer to understanding the greatness of the human spirit. Construction challenges. Erecting the pyramids of Egypt was not only a demonstration of power and religious devotion, but also a monumental engineering challenge. Each stage of construction involved creative solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems. The transportation of stones, the lifting of colossal blocks, and the precise alignment of structures required a level of organization and technical knowledge that still impresses modern engineers today. One of the biggest challenges was transporting the gigantic blocks of stone. The stones used in the pyramids were extracted from quarries kilometers away. Some limestone came from nearby, but others, such as the granite used in the inner chambers, were brought from Aswan, more than 800 kilometers away. Without wheels or motorized vehicles, the Egyptians relied on wooden sledges and human strength. To facilitate this transportation, it is believed that they wet the desert sand, reducing friction and allowing the blocks to slide more easily. Another obstacle was raising the stones to the required heights. To do this, the Egyptians probably used ramps. There are theories that suggest external ramps that surrounded the pyramid, allowing workers to pull the blocks up to the upper levels. Another theory proposes the use of internal ramps, built inside the structure, which were dismantled as the work progressed. Both ideas demonstrate the ingenuity and adaptation of the builders. The precision of the pyramid's alignment is another impressive aspect. They are aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal points. Studies suggest that the Egyptians used the movement of the sun and stars to calculate true north, creating an incredibly effective measuring system for the time. The work also required a colossal workforce. Archaeological research indicates that teams of thousands of workers were organized into smaller groups, each with specific tasks. These teams included masons, carpenters, farmers recruited during the Nile floods, and other specialized workers. This division of labor ensured efficiency, with the groups competing with each other to meet deadlines and targets. In addition, the security and logistics of the construction were impressive. Storage and distribution systems for food such as bread and beer were maintained to sustain the workers. This level of planning not only allowed such massive structures to be built, but also highlights the administrative advancement of ancient Egypt. Finally, the question of time is crucial. It is estimated that the Great Pyramid of Giza took between 20 and 30 years to complete. This means that in order to install more than 2 million stone blocks in that time, a stone would have had to be laid every 2 or 3 minutes during the entire working period. This efficiency is a testament to the skill and commitment of the Egyptians. The challenges faced in building the pyramids not only reveal the genius of the ancient Egyptians, but also inspire admiration for the human capacity to overcome seemingly insurmountable difficulties. These feats continue to be studied and admired, reminding us that ingenuity and determination can turn the impossible into reality. Theories of transportation. The transportation of the stones that make up Egypt's pyramids is one of the most fascinating and debated aspects of their construction. Each block of limestone or granite, weighing from 2 to 70 tons, had to be moved for miles to the construction site. But how did the Egyptians accomplish such a monumental task? One of the most accepted theories involves the use of wooden sledges. These sledges were used to slide the blocks across the sand. Studies suggest that the key to the success of this technique was to lightly wet the sand in front of the sled. This not only reduced friction, but also prevented the sand from building up under the weight of the block. Modern experiments have shown that this technique can reduce the force needed to pull the blocks by up to 50%, making the task much more feasible. Another fascinating theory involves the use of ramps. External ramps are often mentioned as a solution for moving the stones to the required heights. These ramps could have been built in a straight line or in a spiral around the pyramid. However, internal ramps have gained prominence in recent years. Proposed by modern engineers, these ramps would be built inside the pyramid structure itself, protecting them from the wind and allowing for more controlled transportation. There are also hypotheses about the use of boats to transport stones along the River Nile. During the flood season, the Egyptians could have used artificial channels to take the blocks closer to the construction site. Recently discovered papyri confirm that this method was widely used to transport granite from Aswan to Giza. A more recent and intriguing idea is the use of counterweight systems. In this method, the Egyptians could have used smaller blocks as weights to lift larger ones. These rudimentary systems of pulleys and levers were moved by coordinated groups of workers, using gravity to their advantage. Despite all these theories, what is striking is the coordination required. Thousands of workers had to operate in perfect sync, with clear communication and effective leadership. The ability to organize this colossal effort is a testament to the administrative and logistical advancement of the ancient Egyptians. Each of these theories offers a glimpse of what the transportation process may have been like, but it is likely that the Egyptians combined several techniques to overcome the challenges posed by building the pyramids. This multifaceted approach, combining innovation and collective work, continues to inspire admiration for its ingenuity. Assembly techniques. If transporting the stone blocks was a monumental challenge, assembling them into a perfectly aligned and stable structure was even more impressive. Assembling the pyramids of Egypt required meticulous coordination, rudimentary but effective tools, and a deep knowledge of engineering and physics. One of the most discussed techniques involves the use of ramps to position the blocks on the upper levels. After being transported to the base of the pyramid, the blocks were moved to precise positions using inclined ramps. These ramps could be made of mud bricks, limestone, or even wood, depending on the height they needed to reach. The slope was carefully planned to minimize the effort needed to move the blocks, while the ramp was widened and adjusted as construction progressed. In addition to the ramps, natural fiber ropes and wooden sledges played an essential role. The workers used lever systems to adjust the positioning of the stones. The strategic use of counterweights helped lift the heaviest blocks to the upper levels. These rudimentary but ingenious systems took advantage of basic mechanical principles to multiply the force applied by the workers. Another crucial aspect in the assembly of the pyramids was the leveling of the base. Before any stone was laid, the ground was carefully leveled to ensure stability and uniformity. Simple tools, such as ropes and water levels, were used to achieve an impressive leveling that allowed such a large structure to be built without slippage or structural failure. An intriguing question is how the ancient Egyptians achieved the geometric precision of the pyramids. The orientation in relation to the cardinal points, with minimal margins of error, suggests the use of advanced astronomical observation techniques. The builders may have used the position of the sun and stars to align the structure, constantly adjusting it during the construction process. As the pyramid rose, the positioning of the stones became even more challenging. Experienced workers were tasked with cutting the blocks precisely so that they fit together perfectly. The tools used, usually made of copper, were sharp and kept in good condition to handle the limestone and granite. Precision in cutting and positioning ensured that the pyramids stood the test of time and remained stable for millennia. Another fascinating element is the external finish of the pyramids. Originally, they were covered in a layer of polished white limestone, which reflected the sunlight and made the structures shine like beacons in the desert. Laying these outer layers required extra skill, as the blocks had to be cut at perfect angles and placed with extreme care to form a smooth surface. Finally, the organization of the work was a determining factor in the success of the assembly. Groups of specialized workers were responsible for different tasks, from cutting and transporting stones to positioning them and adjusting the final details. These groups worked in well-coordinated shifts to ensure that each stage was completed without significant delays or errors. Additional curiosities: the pyramids of Egypt continue to fascinate not only because of their grandeur, but also because of the small details surrounding their history and construction. There are a multitude of curiosities that broaden our understanding of these wonders and help us imagine life in ancient Egypt. Inscriptions and hidden marks inside the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, signs of the builders have been found engraved in hidden places. These marks, usually made with red paint, include the names of teams of workers such as the Friends of Khufu, a reference to the pharaoh for whom the pyramid was built. This shows that the work was not only carried out by slaves, as is often thought, but by organized groups with an identity and possibly pride in what they were building. The brilliant finish of the pyramids. Originally, the pyramids were covered with polished white limestone blocks that reflected the sunlight, making them shine from a distance. This finish was lost over the centuries, as many of these blocks were reused in other constructions. However, ancient records describe the pyramids as veritable beacons in the desert, an effect that reinforced their divine connection. Stable internal temperature. A surprising feature of the pyramids is that, regardless of the temperature outside, the temperature inside them remains at around 20 degrees Celsius. This thermal stability is due to the ingenious design of the internal chambers and the use of materials that thermally insulate the structures. The perfect alignment, the precision with which the pyramids were aligned with the cardinal points, is impressive. Studies indicate that the Egyptians used the position of the stars to guide construction. This not only demonstrates an advanced knowledge of astronomy, but also reinforces the idea that the pyramids had a spiritual and cosmic purpose. Networks of tunnels and secret chambers. Despite centuries of exploration, it is believed that the pyramids still hide secret chambers and passages. In 2017, scientists used muon, subatomic particle scanning technology, to discover a large unexplored chamber in the Great Pyramid. This shows that, even with all the technological advances, these structures still hold secrets. The pyramids are not unique in Egypt. Although the pyramids of Giza are the most famous, Egypt is home to more than 100 other pyramids, many of which are in varying states of preservation. Each one offers a different perspective on the building practices and architectural evolution of the Egyptians. The function beyond the grave. Although the pyramids are widely known as tombs for the pharaohs, many researchers believe that they also had other functions. For example, some theories suggest that the pyramids served as spiritual energy centers or symbolic structures to unite the community around a monumental project. Workers were treated well. Contrary to popular belief that the pyramids were built by slaves, archaeological evidence shows that the workers received good treatment and payment in the form of food such as meat and beer. Remains of workers' villages reveal organized structures, indicating that these workers had access to medical care and reasonable living conditions. These curiosities reinforce the complexity and fascination of Egypt's pyramids. They are much more than mere stone structures. They are a testament to the human capacity to dream big, plan, and build something that transcends time. The pyramids of Egypt represent one of humanity's greatest triumphs. They are not just stone monuments, but testimonies to a civilization that defied its limits to create something that transcends time. In this video, we explore how these structures were erected, from the complexities of transporting and assembling the blocks to the various theories about the processes involved. We also saw curiosities that broaden our understanding of the genius of the ancient Egyptians, such as the use of rudimentary but incredibly effective technologies, the social organization of the workers, and the deep symbolism that guided every detail. By recapping the main points, we understand that the pyramids were more than just tombs for the pharaohs. They were declarations of power, architectural feats that demonstrated the human capacity to work in unity and overcome seemingly impossible challenges. The transportation of the gigantic blocks, the precise leveling of the base, and the alignment with the cardinal points are clear examples of the advanced knowledge and dedication involved in their construction. But what do these achievements tell us about the human spirit? If the ancient Egyptians, with simple tools and limited resources, were able to build something so great, what else could have been achieved in times past, or even in the future? This is a reflection that transcends archaeology and invites us to rethink our own capacity to create and innovate. The pyramids also raise important questions about the impact of human collaboration. Each stone laid was the result of a collective effort, where thousands of people worked in harmony to achieve a common goal. This story reminds us that when we work together, we can overcome extraordinary challenges and create something that leaves a lasting legacy. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. What do you find most impressive about the pyramids of Egypt? Do you believe in any of the more exotic theories, such as the help of alien civilizations, or do you think that human genius alone was enough to create these wonders? Leave your opinion in the comments. We're curious to know what your favorite theories are. And don't forget to follow our channel and share this video with friends who are also interested in history and the mysteries of the past. Also, explore the other related content we have here, from sphinxes to other monumental constructions around the world. Together, we can continue to discover and debate humanity's greatest mysteries. We end this video with a thought. The pyramids not only challenge our understanding of the past, but also inspire us to think about the future. If we have been able to accomplish so much with so little, what are the limits of our creativity and ingenuity? Thank you for joining us on this journey to ancient Egypt. See you in the next video.